Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a video that I don't typically get into despite what I do behind the scenes with my amps and Dacs, but these are products that I really wanted to get into because they are absolutely wonderful, especially for the price, which we'll get into. The Geshelli Archel 3 Pro is an amp, and the Geshelli Labs J2S is a DAC. The J2S that I have is rocking the AK4499 DAC chip, as well as the Sparkos discrete op amps, the 3602s. The Archel 3 is using the Sparkos 2590 Pro op amps, so very good internals. And all of these products, including the Sparkos op amps, are made in America. And the Geshelli in particular is made here in the state of Florida. In terms of the front panels, they are very easy to navigate and very easy to understand. On the Geshelli Archel 3 Pro, you've got the power, you hold it down to turn it on and turn it off. You have tone, which actually, if you're into EQing, you have right here on the front panel, two knobs for treble and bass. You flip that on and you can play around and add extra bass to whatever you're listening to. You have your input, which will swap from the XLR fully balanced to the RCA single-ended. And you also have your RCA pre-outs to utilize this as a preamp. You can see it runs off 12-volt DC power. You have your gain, which will flip it from high gain and low gain, your 635 for your headphones or IEMs, and then just these beautiful knobs again for volume and the treble and bass control. Very easy to use. I did not have to touch the amp at all. For the Geshelli J2S, very easy as well. You can see you hold this down for power or to turn it off. You have your input to swap between coax and optical, as well as on the back here, you have the XLR outputs and the RCA outputs, again, single-ended and balanced for the Archel 3 Pro. You do have the option to upgrade to the USB, which is an Amanera chip. It's an extra $50. Obviously, for my purposes, running them off of the PC, it was fairly necessary to upgrade to the USB module. But all in all, for $499 for the Geshelli Archel 3 Pro and the J2S, this is one of the cleanest and coolest amp Dacs that I have personally ever owned, particularly for gaming-related purposes as well as for music. I mean, these things are just absolutely killer, so clean, and for the price of admission, you're getting things that sound well over the $1,500 range, I think, in combination between the DAC and the amp. I love the DAC for its absolute clarity and the amp as well. The mixture of the two just combines a beautiful sense of depth, spaciousness, and just the separation that you're getting for these particular units and how clean they are. There's not a beat that goes missed paired with something like a Wallhack certified IEM. I've got the Affle Performer 8 here. Again, a 7BA 1DD unit. Probably going to tie for second or go to third on my list of Wallhack certified IEMs. But the combination is just absolutely deadly for gaming. This is going to be a lot of information that I try to fit into a very small segment. I want everybody to know that with a Wallhack certified IEM, even with onboard audio, you're going to feel and hear improvements over IEMs or headphones that don't get that approval, because the drivers and the frequency response do have their own innate ability to provide an extra level of information, whether it be separation, layering, or just imaging in a 360-degree space, verticality, depth, etc. But for onboard audio, I can't deny the fact that there are going to be improvements, even moving to a budget item like the Topping DX3 Pro Plus. This little thing is an amp DAC rolled into one. It does have an ES9038 chip and an NFCA circuit designed for ultra-low noise distortion, and just sounds phenomenal. You don't get any buzzing, hissing, or any background noise with IEMs, even ultra-sensitive IEMs. Now, the topping is very clinical. It's very clear, and that is a beautiful thing when moving into gaming, because you get that extra level of separation and layering, that extra detail retrieval, and it does have, for $200, a beautiful sense of depth as well as verticality and spaciousness. You feel the difference of this and onboard audio and where certain cues are. Now, do you need to upgrade from onboard audio? Not necessarily. Once your brain adapts to onboard audio, you hear those audio cues and you're going to perform at a very solid level. It just makes your life a little bit easier. Now, that goes up even one step further, of course, when we get to the Geshelli J2S as well as the Archel 3 Pro. You get that extra clarity between audio cues and between notes and music. You get that extra spaciousness. This is a very clear and neutral amp DAC combo. The J2S socketed with the Sparkos op amps that I elected sounds absolutely beautiful. There is a very low level of noise distortion. You will not hear any buzzing, hissing, etc. And it's just very clean audio, very clean power from the Archel 3, providing an extra level of spaciousness, an extra level of depth perception, making pinpointing audio cues so easy, especially when a lot is going on and separation may become an issue on something like onboard audio. I have also been using the Shit Bifrost with my Soloist 3X GT from Burson. Very beautiful set. And again, the Burson being a Class A amp and just one of the best amps probably on the market right now. I do have to say that the J2S I actually prefer for gaming over the Shit Bifrost because I'm feeling the same or similar or even maybe better sense of depth perception as well as spatial awareness with audio cues and how they're hitting me. And I think it's primarily because the Shit Bifrost provides this extra level of depth, richness, and fullness in the audio cues. So for instance, if I am looking at these target dummies in Apex Legends, if anything is happening in terms of an audio cue coming at me on the Shit Bifrost, I hear the depth just beautifully. I hear the imaging beautifully. It is a wonderful DAC. But there's almost just this veil of richness and fullness and boldness that comes from all of the audio cues with this particular DAC that it can become something that becomes a little more overwhelming compared to the J2S with the Sparkos 3602 discrete op amps. This is so clean. You don't have that veil of richness or extra darkness to the audio that picking up the audio cues in comparison is just so easy through objects, through walls, at a distance. The depth perception is so pinpoint precise that my crosshair placement to certain audio cues, I absolutely noticed a difference moving from the Bifrost 2 to the J2S socketed mixed with the Archel 3 Pro. This amp DAC stack is absolutely so beautiful for gaming related purposes in terms of that data that you need, that I can't see myself right now recommending anything else for gaming, especially in this price bracket. I think this beats everything that I have tried so far. Over the price and under the price, it is a beautiful amp DAC stack. Again, if you want something on the budget side, I absolutely recommend the Topping DX3 Pro Plus. I think you're getting a beautiful sense of clarity as well as depth and spaciousness on the topping. But if you are able to go and spring for something a little bit higher, this amp DAC stack by Geshelli is an absolute A-tier solution for gaming-related purposes. And one thing I forgot to mention, guys, I also was running the A90D and the D90SC previously. I have to say that the D90SC, in my opinion, personally, it gets beat by the Shit Bifrost. Despite the D90SE having an extra level of clarity and what you expect from a topping product being very neutral, the Shit Bifrost just has an extra element of spaciousness as well as depth perception. And even the J2S from Geshelli, in my opinion, personally beats out the D90SE for what I'm looking for gaming-related purposes, which is that beautiful sense of depth and pinpoint precision, being able to hear precisely that distance in between you and an audio cue. So important for not only tech shooters, but battle royales like Apex Legends as well. And getting into the customizations here, you're going to need the USB module again for PC. Right now on the website, the DAC chip is only the 4493 for the J2S. You don't have to opt for the Sparkos right now. You can always just stay Texas Instruments and worry about upgrading later. I would recommend just getting it taken care of off the bat. It's only 158 for the dual 3602s from Sparkos. I wouldn't necessarily say that you need the RCA because if you're running it XLR, which is full balanced, you don't really need to worry about RCA, the single-ended, which will save you the $80. So for an aluminum case with the different color options, you're looking at $467.99 with the Sparkos option, or $310 with the Texas Instruments. Both very good. You don't necessarily have to worry about these Sparkos off the rip. You can see the Archel 3 Pro base price is $500. You can pick between your different colored woods. I went with walnut, of course, on both my copies. And then you can choose your side options as well as your wood joint options. And you can see the different colors as well for the glass. Again, I went with neon orange. You can see the description as well as the spec sheets, and it is 2 watts per channel at 16 ohms. And then you can see some of the measurements here for the dynamic range, an extremely good and compelling purchase for an amp that performs well above its price point. Now, the only issue I ran into with my J2S was on OBS Studio. For some reason with the Amanera USB chip, and I don't know if it's a driver-related issue, but it was not encoding audio properly on stream. But oddly enough, there was absolutely no issue with Twitch Studio and other streaming software, so I'm not quite sure what the issue is there. I'm sure there's a fix for OBS. I'll reach out to Geshelli about that. These are products I bought myself. I did not receive any of these for free, and this is not something that Geshelli even knows I'm making a video on. These are just extremely good products that I wanted to try, and I wanted to get out there for you guys. Beautiful amp in the Archel 3, and a beautiful DAC in the J2S, the combination of which performs absolutely phenomenally in-game. I hope it helped, guys. If it did, please leave a sub to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace.